bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Thanks for staying with us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Aimee, Allison. Don Parscal is a candidate here, Contra, Costa County Supervisor, District 5. Glad to have you.
Nice to be here.
What's pulled you into the race?
You know, I believe that the people of Contra Costa are tired of the same old politicians running things, and that there hasn't been any positive change for a long time, and I want to have a chance to do that.
Well, I understand that you're a person who is very passionate about land use, how the land is used and not used. How does that translate to policies you're advocating in Contra Costa County?
Well, you know, so much of our beautiful farmland and rolling hills have been built out into tract homes. And, you know, I've done some development myself, and the type of development that I do is to preserve the largest portion of the land and do large parcels. I believe that the only way we can preserve the open space is through development, believe it or not, because the land is just worth so much money that you have to have some development associated with all open space projects, or they're not going to happen.
And so what does that mean? Are there policies that, you know, currently the supervisor in District 5 or the Board of Supervisors are advocating that you're opposed to?
Well, yeah, the county supervisors as a whole vote on all of the land projects that are in the county, and right now there's a proposed land project for 6,000 homes next door to Discovery Bay, and with, you know, the climate of so many homes being in foreclosure and vacant, it just seems like that's malpractice to propose something like that, and I think it really goes back to you know, their campaign donors that are now asking for their favors back.
What would you do instead? Deny the development of this new tract and do something else with the land? Absolutely.
I believe that that what we should do is build our infrastructure first, and then we can bond that, and then we can ask the developers to pay afterwards, after we have our freeways widened and our streets widened, and rather than reverse, because the community ends up being the one that pays for the streets, and the developers take the big bag of cash and leave town.
Well, you yourself are in the real estate business. How did you come to a place where a policy position where you say, hey, the developers are taking advantage of the public trust?
Well, I think that the word developer always gets a bad name, but I think that development is the art of being able to use land for the best of everyone and not just for one person or one corporation, and that is what I've always tried to do in my career.
East Bay Parks District told me that you just recently donated 200 acres right around Black Diamond Mines.
That's correct.
Of your personal land.
That's
to them.
correct.
You know, why do you make that kind of a gesture?
You know, that I feel like that the land in that area is so sensitive as far as environmental, and also that it's such a unique piece of land, being able to be the only way to connect the 6,000 acre state park with the regional park in Antioch. I thought it was pretty much a no-brainer. It just had to happen.
Now that District 5 supervisor race is contested, what makes your candidacy stand apart from the people that you're running against?
Well, I fancy myself as not being a politician. And I'm not a fan of politicians. In fact, I refused any endorsements from any politicians. I think that the people of California are tired of the same people running over and over, and that's the reason we have term limits at the state level. I think that was a way to say, you know, we've had enough.
It's been challenging at the state level as well with the budget cuts. How, as a county supervisor, would you propose to actually make sure people in Contra Costa County got their fair share?
Well, you know, I think that, that there's some really complicated issues of how money's allocated, and I think that the people that are running for office that purport that they have all the answers to do that, I think are fibbing. I
Really
think
don't.
that there's such a complicated question. I would just say that when I'm in charge, that I'll make sure that we get our fair share, not just in the county, but in East County, which has been overlooked greatly in the past 8 years.
Thank you, Don Parscal, for joining us today.